Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I have been super busy. Not complaining about that at all. But today I really want to talk to you about intention setting. This is something I get a question about all the time. How to set intentions and things like that. So, so one thing that I wish more people understood is that intentions are not about performing something correctly. You're not trying to impress spirit. It doesn't need to sound poetic. You're not supposed to say some ancient magical sentence perfectly. I know in a lot of mystical kind of content and movies and witchcraft and things like that, you see a lot of Latin and things like that, which makes for great TV. And I'm not saying that there's not Latin phrases that are potent and magical and mystical. I'm just saying that the average witch does not study nor speak Latin. And if you're going to be saying something over your spells, you're going to be saying something over your oils and over your life and bringing, something to you, you should understand whatever it is that you're saying, right? If you are practicing spellcraft and you're speaking a spell and it's in another language and you don't know that language and you're not sure what the translation of that is, you're going to find a very big disconnect in your casting. You might on some level feel like because it sounds fancy it must work, but in my personal experience that has never been the case for me. Something that was extremely complicated to the point to where I couldn't even understand what or why I was doing what I was doing has never worked out for me. That's part of the reason why I started my shop in the first place, was because I couldn't find materials that I enjoyed using and that weren't just pushed upon me because someone said that this is how it's supposed to be done. I don't operate in that way. I've never operated in that way. So intention setting is actually very similar. I know I give you guys instructions and things like that for you to follow whenever you're using intention oils and things like that, but you really need to break them down and see what applies to you, question what doesn't, and try to see how you can manipulate and mold those instructions to fit your everyday life. Like a call money oil is a very general type of oil, right? It's something that is used for all purpose. In my shop, I kind of sell it for all purposes related to money drawing, luck, success. Um, that success could be career success. Success could be like an opportunity that you come by that might actually have nothing to do with work whatsoever, but it just might be something that you feel like could be profitable for you in the future. Um, the luck could be related to getting sales. Maybe you have a particular goal that you're trying to reach and you want to use a money drawing oil to help you reach that goal. And by reaching that goal, you obtain more money. So there's a process and a tier that happens with using that oil. It's not just, hey, here's the instructions. You said to, say money comes to me easily and boom, it's going to happen. I mean, yes, but only if you know and trust yourself and trust the, excuse me about, sorry about that, and know and trust in yourself what it is that you expect and have expectations for it working out in whatever way that is. You don't have to know the how, but you do kind of need to know the what. What is your intention? Is it to bring in more money from any source? Are you kind of like a free bird with your spirituality where you can have um, sources coming in, multiple streams of income, and you're not really picky from where it comes? That's great. I mean, you can say money comes to me easily and that will feel true for you. But if you are someone who doesn't really want to work for money, but you still want to have that money, then saying, money comes to me easy, or I'm successful, um, I make money easy and things like that, it's probably not going to feel so good if you're someone who doesn't personally want to make your own money. Your money could come through a spouse, it could come through a gift, it could come through anything, but you have to kind of remember that the more we say we don't want something, the more we say that we are expecting it to come through a certain way, the more we're restricting the universe. So I just kind of want to get back on track, because, I just said a lot of information. But basically, an intention is saying, this is the direction that I want my energy to move. That's it. When you put on an oil, you dress a candle, you take a ritual, a ritual bath, when you pray, you journal, you meditate, your intention is a roadmap for where all of that energy is supposed to go. Okay? Like I gave this kind of example a while ago on my TikTok, talking about how intention setting is very much like, getting in a car and using a GPS. Without intention, your work can feel really scattered. It can feel like you keep changing direction. It could feel like, when you're driving and it's like, make a U-turn, or, proceed to the route. Like that's how it feels when you're casting spells and putting on intention oils and you're not really sure what you're like expecting or asking for. With intention, it's like, you're saying that where it is that you want to go. Like you might be saying, if you're using a road opener oil, you might be thinking, I'm open to new pathways and opportunities. And you might be visualizing an opportunity that you're kind of interested in and kind of seeing yourself getting, handed that opportunity, that kind of thing. In general, the more simple your intentions are, the better they tend to be. If you're saying, I want clarity, I want movement, I want healing, I want to feel safe, I want to receive, the shorter and more repetitive you can say and get behind the feeling of it, usually the easier it is to apply that. So again, going back to the GPS kind of example, imagine getting into your car and just driving emotionally all over the place. Like 1 second you're saying, I want love. Then 5 minutes later, you're saying, nobody ever chooses me, nobody ever loves me, and now you have to make a U-turn because you're going the wrong way. Then you might say, I deserve abundance, and you're like thinking like, oh wow, I'm so grateful, I'm so abundant, everything works out for me. And then that turns into, I'm probably going to struggle forever. It's hard to make money. I can't feel abundant because this and this and this is happening. Now you have to make a U-turn. It's like energetically, emotionally, and mentally, constantly those things are rerouting the GPS every 30 seconds, and you're getting frustrated that you're not arriving anywhere consistently. In order to reach your destination, which is your goal, your intention, you have to stay on the route that leads to that intention. If you are setting intentions and then spending your whole day spiraling, doubting, I wonder if this isn't working. I get this review all the time. People are like, it smells nice, but I don't know if it's doing anything. And I look and it's like, it's been what, a few weeks, a week, a few days sometimes. Sometimes it's the same day. Sometimes it's a month or two. You guys, a lot of these things that come to you do not come overnight. Most people are not overnight successes. Even the people that you see doing really well, most of them were not an overnight success story. You have to be intentional for a time being, for whatever amount of time. And even after you receive your desire, you have to be able to hold it and not self-sabotage, or else you'll be right where you were before you received it. So your intentions help establish direction. It's not some thing that you do for a day or two, and then you see, oh, well, this isn't working, or you try it for a week or two, and then you say, well, nothing's happened, so, now what? Listen, guys, repetition matters. Being consistent matters. The more you reinforce that direction with your emotions, your mental state, your spirituality, which could be you meditating, it could be you taking a moment to connect with yourself, to visualize and speak to your higher self. It could be ritual, which could be like baths or cleansings and spells and stuff like that. And then behaviorally is important. The more you're following aligned action that's going to help you get to where you want to be. You can't be setting intentions for um, creating prosperity in your life, and every 2 seconds you're like throwing money out the window. You've got subscriptions draining your bank account that you're not even watching. You're overspending, keeping yourself in a place of struggle. You can't do things like that and then be like, oh, well, it's not working. The intention's not working. You're not working. You're not working with your intention. You are literally your worst enemy. You're working against it. You say you want love and attraction, and then you have this specific person that you can't let go of, and they're not loving or attracting or attracted to you, and you're not letting them go. So you guys aren't a match, but you're also not, allowing other matches in. Or, you might say you want that love and attraction, and then you go everywhere and you're like in chase mode. You're not actually open to receiving. So your energy is closed off. Your energy is scary. You're like, I put on this oil and I'm going to see who's attracted to me, and I'm going to, aggressively go out and, on the hunt. You are in a state of receiving after you set your intention. You're supposed to be allowing the attraction to happen to you. You are the magnet, and things are going to come towards you. You're not supposed to be out here chasing other people. Yes, your aligned action is, if you want love, you put yourself in a place where love can find you. But that doesn't mean you go knocking down the dang door, asking everyone if they're interested in you, or being mad whenever people don't approach you. It just means that, if you actually went out and you were open and you were in your feminine, you're playful, you're like attracting and magnetizing with your energy, and then someone didn't, run with that, that just meant that that wasn't your person. Like, we don't need to assign failure to things like that. So gradually you're orienting yourself towards a state of receiving that desire. If your intention is, I'm available for emotionally safe, reciprocal love, then your GPS direction will start influencing what behavior you tolerate, how you speak to yourself, what relationships feel aligned or misaligned, meaning you might, start to notice red flags. You might start to notice whenever relationships feel draining, whenever they don't feel like they're pouring back into you, because that's not a reciprocal. A reciprocal is, I'm giving my love out, but I'm also receiving love back. And that doesn't mean we do manipulative shit. That doesn't mean we're out here like, I'm going to make you, I'm going to do this for you and do this for you, and then you're going to, do this for me. Like, I'm expecting, if I go and, make dinner and get you a gift and, draw you a bath and all this other stuff, then you're going to, do the same for me and tell me you love me. A lot of people make the mistake of giving out love that they want in return in the way that they want it. But most people will love you in the way that they're capable of. You can't do manipulative things. You can't do things to get a reaction out of someone and then expect a genuine connection, because it's based on manipulation. So, like I'm saying, whenever you start setting intentions, your spiritual GPS is going to start picking up, what opportunities. It's going to start sending you opportunities, because that's what intention oils do. They send you opportunities for that thing to come to you. And you're going to start to notice opportunities, and you're going to start to notice how you're feeling and how you're carrying yourself. Okay? And you have to be the one that walks through those doors. Nothing is going to force anything on you that you're not ready for. So if your dominant intention that is running your unconscious is saying, I hope I don't get abandoned again, even if you're consciously wanting love, then your GPS is all like hyper focused on avoiding pain. You're going to be overanalyzing every talk you have with someone, being super freaking clingy, settling for inconsistent BS because, you would rather have that person there than not be there at all. Obsessing over reassurance, constantly asking someone, what do you think? What do you feel? How are you feeling? What are you thinking? Needing someone to constantly tell you that you're good. Panicking when things feel uncertain. And interpreting situations that aren't necessarily, bad as some type of rejection. Both people setting these intentions might want love, but the way that their energetic direction is going is very different. So intentions really matter. They help your like spirit, your mind, your body, your emotions, all of that move in the same direction instead of pulling you in different ways all day long. And you have to remind yourself that, as much as a GPS can get you to your destination, it can also reroute you. So, just because you spiral one day does not mean that you ruined everything. Just take the next day, take that lesson and move intentionally forward. Don't just stop using stuff. Don't stop following your intention setting rituals and stuff just because you're not getting results right away. The people who really win are the people who understand that spiritual work is work. Even if you enjoy, like, I'm an inner work junkie, like, I enjoy self development so much. I spend my days deep in podcasts, deep in meditation, deep in thought. I'm constantly writing down what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, all of that. I spend a lot of my time doing a lot of introspection. And even with it being something I enjoy, it can still be really hard. People who dedicate themselves to understanding themselves and their whys and why I'm doing this, why I feel like this, why I want this, those are the people who really do well with intention setting. It's something that you have to take the time to do and apply. And when you're consistent in it, it will work out. And I'm going to do a separate series where I show you how to set intentions in various ways using different methods. And I think, that will be helpful. I just wanted to get this out here because I do get a lot of questions and I kind of wanted to, give you guys something to think about. And ask yourself, really treat your intention setting rituals like, you're plugging in your address, your intention address in your GPS. Like, whenever you're setting your intention and you're trying to attract something to you, think about the streets you're passing along the way and what those titles might be. Like, if you're like, I'm drawing money to me, okay, then you're going to go down, I allow money to come to me in various ways street. And then you might make a left on, I'm a magnet for all sorts of abundance. And then you might make a right on, I'm open to money coming into me in new and exciting ways. And then you might go straight on, I'm grateful for the money that I have in my bank account right now and for, everything that I'm currently able to purchase and pay for. And every time you pay a bill, you're going down another street that takes you close to your destination because you're like, I'm so thankful I can pay for this bill. I'm so thankful that I have it in me to pay for XYZ. The more gratitude you can show towards money, the more it will, be attracted to towards you. Who wants to be heading towards someone who is afraid of them and, who has nothing but bad things to say about them? I wouldn't want to go towards that person either. So, you kind of have to look at your intention that way and look at your desire in that way. How you speak to yourself and about that thing greatly impacts your ability to manifest. This podcast has gotten way long, so I'm going to let you guys go, and then I will come out with a shorter series for you to follow. Goodbye.